If your top spenders start going quiet over the last few months, if your tips are not what they used to be, if fans who used to message you constantly have just sort of, disappeared without ever saying anything, I'm gonna tell you exactly what is happening to your page. And it's not your content, it is not the algorithm, and it is not bad luck. It is one specific thing that almost no creator in this industry can see happening when it's happening to her. And by the time she figures it out, half her best fans are already gone. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, exactly why your fans can feel it before you can, and exactly how to check whether it is happening to you right now. Quick bit about me, I run Prestige Partners. We have worked with creators doing anywhere from 5k a month up to over 250k a month. And the number of times I have had a creator come to me on a call saying my numbers are slipping and I do not know why, it is genuinely uncountable. This video is for you if your income has been drifting downwards over the last few months and you just cannot put your finger on a single specific reason. And by the end of the next 15 minutes, you will understand the mechanism behind it, you'll know exactly how to spot it on your own page, and you have a 5-minute test you can run tonight that will tell you whether it is already happening to you. And to show you how fast that this can be diagnosed when you know what to look for, I'm actually going to tell you about a creator I had on a call recently whose income had been sliding for 5 months. 5 months of panic, 5 months of blaming the content, and 5 months of working harder. Now, I diagnosed exactly what was happening to her page in under 10 minutes. And what I found made her actually cry on the call, and I will get to her in a moment. So, how whales actually work and why one quiet departure costs you a month. So let me start by explaining how the fans on your page actually work. Because once you understand the maths, the rest of this video is going to hit very differently. The fans who pay you the most money are not casual fans, right? They are not the guys who subscribe, scroll for 10 minutes and disappear. The fans who actually pay you are the ones who have built something in their heads about who you are. Now, they've been watching your content for weeks or even months. They have also messaged you back and forth for a significant period of time, let's say. Now, they have also told you things about themselves. They have started to feel like they know you, and the version of you that lives in their head is incredibly specific. They know how you talk, they know your sense of humor, they know the words you use, and they know the rhythm of your messages. Now, they have built a whole picture of you in their head, and that picture is what they are paying to keep alive. Now, with that in mind, let me put the maths in front of you, because this is the part most creators have never actually worked out. Pull up your top spenders right now and look at the top 5. For most creators in the 5k to 20k bracket, those top 5 fans are responsible for somewhere between 30 and 50% of total monthly income. 5 people out of hundreds, sometimes thousands of subscribers. 5 humans are paying for nearly half of everything. That is the actual structure of your business, whether you have looked at it or not. When one of those 5 quietly stops spending, your income does not drop a little, it drops a lot. Lose 2 of them in the same month and you've lost a quarter of your income pretty much overnight. And the worst part is you will not even know which fans left because they did not unsubscribe and they did not complain. They just simply went quiet. And replacing what those 2 fans were spending requires you to then bring in dozens, maybe hundreds of new subscribers, most of whom will spend nothing in their first month. So losing whales does not feel like losing whales. It feels like a quiet month. It feels like the algorithm changed. It feels like your content is not hitting the way it used to. It feels like everything got a bit harder all of a sudden, and you cannot put your finger on why, but the reason is almost always the same. Your best fans slipped away and nobody was watching closely enough to catch it. Now, why the voice gets replaced and why nobody notices it. So now you understand the structure. 5 fans, half your income, fragile as glass, right? So how does the relationship with those fans actually break? Now, here is where you're probably gonna get a bit uncomfortable, right? And here is where I have to tell you about the creator I promised to tell you about at the start. So she came to me, smart woman, doing about 14k a month, right? And she used to be doing 22k. Now her revenue has been dropping for 5 months and she was panicking. She had tried everything. New content angles, more posting, new PPVs, different prices, and nothing was working. So she came to me thinking I was gonna tell her to fix her content strategy. Instead, I asked her one thing. I asked her to pull up her DM and let me read through a few of the chats with her, of her top 10 fans specifically, right? We sat there for about 25 minutes reading through them together. By the end of it, she was literally crying because she could see in black and white that these messages going out under her name did not sound anything like her. They were generic, they were stiff, and they used phrases she would never use. Now, they did not reference any of the running jokes or stories she had built with these fans in the early days. The chatters her agency put on her account had completely replaced her voice with something that was technically functional but emotionally empty. And her best fans have been talking to that empty version of her for 5 months, slowly losing the connection that made them spend in the first place. Now, the content was still her, yes. The product, however, was no longer her, and the fans had felt it long before she did. That is the mechanism. Now, when a chatter takes over your account and they are not properly trained on your voice, they do not speak the way you speak. They use different words, they reply in a different rhythm, and they miss the little jokes. They do not pick up on the running themes you had with this fan. And the fan who knows you better than you realize, right, starts to feel something off like straight away. He does not know it is a chatter, he just feels like something has changed about you. Maybe he thinks you are in a weird mood. Maybe he thinks you have stopped caring about him. Whatever it is, the connection's gonna crack. And once it cracks, it is almost impossible to repair, because the magic of it was that he believed it was real. Now, he has started to wonder, look, was any of this ever real in the first place? And here is what makes it so dangerous, right? The casual subs do not notice. They are not paying attention, but the whales are paying attention to everything. They have to be, because they are emotionally invested and heavily financially invested as well. So when something starts feeling off, they are the first to feel it, and they are also the first to go. So the fans you can least afford to lose are exactly the fans who notice first. That is why losing whales is not random. It is the predictable outcome of letting the voice slip, and it always happens to the most valuable fans first. Now sit with this for a second. There is one test you can run on your own DMs tonight that will tell you in about 5 minutes whether your voice has been replaced. And almost no creator I speak to has ever done this. Now I'm gonna give it to you at the end of this video, because you need the next bit first for it to actually mean something. The voice is the product, not the content. Now, here is the reframe that nobody in this industry says out loud. And once you hear it, you will not be able to unhear it. Your content is not what people pay you for. Your content is what makes people aware you exist. It is what makes them curious, and it is what makes them subscribe. But the moment they're inside, the moment they are past the front door, the content stops being the deciding factor. From that point on, every spending decision a fan makes is based on the relationship he thinks that he has with you. And that relationship lives entirely inside the chat. The voice in the messages, the way you talk, the way you respond, and the way you make him feel. That is the product. Everything else is just the packaging. So if your voice is the product, and your voice has been replaced by chatters who do not sound like you have effectively replaced your product without telling anyone. And then the fans who matter the most, the ones who built a real relationship with the original product, the version of you they fell for, are going to feel that change immediately. Not consciously, they will not know what happened. They will just feel that something is off. And then they will start spending less, because the thing they were paying for, the relationship with you specifically, is not quite there anymore. And then they will be gone. So here is the test I promised you. Tonight, before you go to bed, open your DMs and pull up the conversations with your top 10 fans. Start with whoever has spent the most. Read the last 30 messages exchanged in each chat, or copy it and put it in AI. Read them slowly. Read them like a fan would. And after each conversation, ask yourself one question. Did that sound like me? And if you're with an agency and chatters running your DMs, the answer is going to be uncomfortable for at least half of those conversations. Probably more, actually. So write down which ones fell off. Now, that list is a start of your repair work, and it's also your proof, because once you have seen it in writing, in the messages going out under your own name, you cannot pretend the problem is your content anymore. The problem is that your voice has been replaced. And the moment you can name the actual problem, you can actually fix it. Now, here is the deepest part of this whole thing, and I want you to really hear it. The reason whales become whales is not because they have more money, it is because they have a deeper relationship with the perceived version of you. That is the entire mechanism. Whales are not financial outliers, they are emotional outliers. They have built a stronger connection to the version of you that they think they are talking to than the average fan has. And the moment the connection weakens, even slightly, right, they stop being whales. The financial spending was downstream of the emotional connection the entire time. Now, most creators think money creates the whale. Connection creates the whale. The money just follows. Cut the connection and the money stops, no matter how much money that whale actually has. Here is what I want you to leave this video with. Your fans can tell when it is not you anymore. Not consciously, not in words they could explain back to you, but emotionally and immediately. The relationship you have with your top fans is the single most valuable asset in your entire business. And right now, on most creator pages, nobody is actually protecting it. Not the agency, not the chatters, not anyone. The voice that is speaking to your whales every day might not even be yours, and the only person who can check is you. So check tonight, run the test, 5 minutes, and whatever you find, take it seriously, please, because the income that is bleeding out of your page is not coming back until the voice in those DMs is unmistakably yours again. Look, my life is not going to change whether you decide to book a call with my team or not, but yours could. And if you have just realized that the chat side of your business is the actual problem, and you want to talk to someone who genuinely understands how to rebuild that voice and protect it properly, the link to book a call is in the description. No pressure, just a real conversation about what is actually happening with your page and what we would do about it. That is it. Now, I hope you drew some value from this. If you did, subscribe, drop a like. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.